There is a difference between horror and terror. While terror involves the unknown, the ignorance about what could be hiding where you aren't seeing, horror is more focused on the shock of actually seeing the thing itself. Both of them are able to transmit different emotions, but in general, a good game of this genre will leave something in you, will make you keep thinking about it, even hours after finishing playing. And the game of today enters exactly in this category. So, welcome! I am Frapollo94, and today we are gonna talk about a game I discovered only recently called World of Horror. We will talk about my first blind experience with it, about some references, and in general if I suggest you to play it. If you want to support me, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments other games I should play. But without further ado, it's time to jump into World of Horror. Just to precise, I am going in completely blind. I know literally nothing about the game, not even the plot or the genre. This because I want to have the most fresh experience possible. So, let's start the game. I think a game needs to create a good atmosphere already from the title screen. That is one of the parts which will be seen by everyone that plays it. It must be good. We may say, I was not disappointed. The style used for representing this city combined with the soundtrack really made me appreciate this title screen. And you will hear me in the game saying this multiple times, you will see. As always, when playing a game for the first time, I start by checking the options available to me, also because I wanted to listen more to the soundtrack. I was already fascinated by one particular thing: we were able to customize the visuals a lot. You may have noticed how there aren't many colors on the screen. That's because we're able to choose if we want a 2-bit experience, so 4 colors total, or 1-bit experience, 2 colors. And also, we're able to change the color palette. I want to experience with this more as I play, so you will see some changes in the colors. I skipped going into the extra menu because it seemed to me spoiler the menu. Huh? What? Already starting with creepy stuff, I guess. No, I guess this is gonna be spoiler the menu, so no, we're gonna check it later. Let's jump into the game. So, difficulty selection. Of course, you should always be very careful about what difficulty you pick for your first run, especially if the game suggests you the first one. Right? You know what? I may be a little bit arrogant, but I think I can handle extracurricular activity difficulty. Let's go! The premise of this game is very simple. In the city of Shiokawa, people wearing robes are causing various troubles across the city. Supernatural things happening, monsters, and old gods are breaking the line between our reality and a much scarier place. Old gods are in fear and hunger! Our mission is to prevent old gods from awakening and destroying reality. That's it. Precise and simple premise, which puts a lot of stuff on the table. I like it. Apparently when you start a run, the game decides a random old god which the cultists are gonna try to wake up. And with each old god there is a different rule, which is gonna add stuff to the mix. But now, here we are. You will be seeing this interface a lot, because this is how the majority of the game is played. We get a simple tutorial about our stats, but no worries, the game doesn't explain us how stats work. It just gave us a general sense of what they do. In fact, the majority of them is gonna be explained with: stats are used to determine the outcome of events and the speed of certain combat actions. In the end, it's gonna be the player's own judgment understanding which stats may be effectively useful for which actions. Then we have a little inventory, equipment, spell menu, status menu, perks and party members, and gods menu. And then I almost had an heart attack. Wait, the time is passing! Whoa! No! Can I stop it? No, don't make my same mistake. This game is not in real time. You can proceed slowly and think, because time passing is only to let you know how long the run is lasting. As far as I know, no events in-game are related to real time. But let's enter into the core part of the game. In our apartment, we are able to go to the mystery section. Here, we will have different mysteries to resolve in order to proceed with the game. The majority of the mysteries follow the same procedure. You start the mystery, you investigate a certain amount of locations dictated by this circle right here, and after a certain amount of investigations, there is gonna be the finale of the mystery. In this moment I felt kinda alone. I was able to decide what to do, but I don't know anything. Am I supposed to follow the mystery and that's it? Am I supposed to search for other areas to gather supplies or allies? And my fear increased when I realized one thing. Every time you do an action, it doesn't matter what, the doom is increased, which is a percentage which, as you can imagine, goes from 1 to 100. What happens once it reaches 100%? Do we just die? To some of you what happens may seem pretty obvious, but I can guarantee to you in my blind run I was very scared by the possibility of reaching 100%. Regardless, I decided the best idea was trying to skip the mission and doing something else, because I wanted to investigate more. After all, as other games taught us, knowledge is power. We were able to get our first ally, which apparently gives you some bonus stats, negative or positive. Oh, that's so cool! There are my allies behind me! But after trying a couple of different options and seeing how my choices sometimes brought me positive outcomes and sometimes because of some failed rolls gave me negative outcomes, I said one particular thing, which I think summarizes my idea of the game so far. From what I'm understanding, it's a sort of D&D campaign, but in the form of a horror game, and even with some very creepy events, such as people hanged on the wall. At least the world seemed safe. Uh-oh. What is that man-eating plant? To enter more into the atmosphere, I was playing this game at 1 AM, and I gotta be honest, even though it's not something really explicit, it gave me some chills. But now it was time to analyze the battle menu. Apparently, all actions require a certain time to be executed, and you can choose different combinations up to a total time of 200. The enemies have a certain amount of HP, deal certain type of damage each turn, either stamina or reason or both, and they also have a certain power which is gonna reduce your accuracy by a certain amount. But even after all these explanations, I did not have a weapon. The only thing I could do was just kicking this plant to death. Wait, we really defeated this man-eating plant by kicking 4 times? But remember, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. That's why I just thought that maybe I was lucky or the plant was just a low-level enemy and not too difficult. But eventually, we reached the end of the mystery. Or at least, one of the possible conclusions of the mystery. But as you may have noticed, I skipped to you the part of the story of the mystery. That's because in this first mystery I wanted to explain more the tutorials and how are we gonna progress through the game. In the next ones there is gonna be more plot, no worries. In general, solving mysteries will give you experience and will reduce the total doom, because after all, we are destroying the plans of the cultists. But it wasn't over. The next day, there is gonna be a new power of the old god which is gonna influence the gameplay. These include increasing the chance of finding enemies, reduce the stat regain when resting, and a lot of other stuff. But since it was already late and I only wanted to play this game at night, I decided to save and to go to sleep to continue the next night. This doomed town isn't going anywhere. They're gonna wait for me to come back, I guess, okay. This time I was able to see a part of the title screen that I didn't see before. But apart from that, as I told you, I want to personalize my experience even more. So I'm gonna change the color palette for the next mystery. Oh-ho! It seems like the sea is covered in blood, wow! And also I realized that there was another place I could go to from here. You know, I have never gone to the Lighthouse, let's try to go there. Apparently it's completely locked and requires up to 5 keys to be opened. Where could we find some keys? And look, now that we solved a mystery, there was a key in our cassette. Here I made the 2+2. Every time you complete a mystery you get a new key to open the Lighthouse. This means the Lighthouse is the final gauntlet of the game. Back in our apartment, we're able to rest in the bathroom to recover some stats, or we can do some other stuff like changing our clothes or looking through the peephole. Someone is standing in the... What? Oh, hey. Are the robbed people already onto me? We need to be fast. And that's why I decided the best thing to do was to play with the phone. Second mystery. A contagious coma. This mystery is about a weird group of people which all enter into a weird status of coma, and everyone that tries to interact with them ends up in a coma as well. I decided that for this mystery I was gonna try to use my brain more when deciding what to do in the various situations, also trying to find a person that I heard on TV went missing in the forest. There was a missing person in the forest, you know what? I want to try to go there. Until... What? A parasite? What is that? I don't know if it's because I was playing at night, but this enemy in particular was making me uncomfortable. I think I have a weird phobia for this, I don't know how it's called, but basically I am very scared of seeing the interior parts of the body from the outside, and also of seeing tentacles or other things like that coming outside of it. But hey, it was our first level up. Yes! Oh, we can level up finally! It's our first level up, I think. Let's see how does it perform. Next experience level, choose one perk and one stat upgrade. Perks are gonna give you additional stats and can help you in some choices. Also, every time you enter a mystery, there is also a secondary quest you can do. In this case, investigate the village twice. And as I was doing it, a rip in our reality shows the future of the planet. Is this really what will happen when old gods get awakened? But we continued with the mission. There was also another enemy, which was straight up a parasite at this point. And with this red background, it was even better. It made me want to experiment even more with the color palettes. By this point I completed the side quest. A package to understand the illness, dust of seeing, that's gonna be important later. And in the meantime, I also realized that there was another part of the interface which I wasn't using, which for example allows you to travel to the schoolyard, where apparently you're able to get more party members. Also, there was the library, where you have the possibility to gain EXP or to gain spells. And last but not least, there was also the doctor, which I was able to use to heal my frostbite. But at this point, I experimented enough for the second mystery. Let's finally solve it. Every time you go into a location dictated by the circle, you're gonna see a little flavor message above you, which tells you how you're advancing in the mystery. First, we were searching for patient 0 of the disease, which apparently was not at home. But apparently, we were able to find a journal which describes the possibility of summoning an entity from the dream realm. And in the end, we thought the best option was to try to interact with the coma people. And this is a very important point for the gameplay of World of Horror. As you can see, the options available to me include use Dust of Seeing. From the previous mystery, we know mysteries have different endings, we got one of the possible endings. And now we had another choice, which means items and abilities maybe are gonna be able to influence the outcome every time. The fact the game gives me the possibility of using the Dust of Seeing makes me think I should do it. Ooh! Huh. It has some weird symbols on the face. The Dream Devourer is a pretty tough opponent. Deals 2 damage to both stamina and reason each turn. But that was not the scariest part. Yes! Yes! I don't even know how are we able to go through this thing, like, we literally have a steak knife and we just defeated another worldly being that was causing the coma of a lot of people. Ah! After defeating him, we were able to catch a glimpse of what was present on the roof. It wasn't the creature's body that you'd managed to cut off. It was merely a finger. We are just lucky that today is not the day in which we have to deal with the body. But as I changed the palette again, it's time to proceed. For now, the modus operandi of mysteries we undertook was always the same. Does that mean all of the mysteries are resolved in the same way? Let's go with the Violent Vigil. I think there is gonna be a huge battle in here. Welcome to Vicious Vessel of a Violent Vigil. Apparently, we will have to participate in the funeral of our grand uncle. And for this mystery there is a whole new location which is not the usual zones, but it's a full explorable mansion. I always love in video games in general when you leave the normal zones in order to go for an expedition somewhere else. And this also adds a lot to the variety. We are able to see a couple of guests in here, and apparently also interact with some of the furniture. But after checking on the corpse of our grand uncle and waiting a little bit, of course you know what was gonna happen. Where'd he go? Also, the guests are disappeared. Where could they be exactly? Uh-oh. That's a marriage! That's a marriage! Ah! The design of the enemies was becoming more disturbing each time. And the whole ambience in general made me think we actually finished in the other world. The world that is gonna become if the old gods get awakened. An alien landscape. That's the eclipse. What? Oh. But after sacrificing one of the guests, the mystery was over. And our grand uncle was alive again. A sacrifice for a life. By this point the pressure was unbearable. The doom was over 50%, and we still have no idea how difficult the lighthouse is gonna be. Also considering multiple opponents are gonna try to reduce my HP. But anyways, this last mystery was about disappearing fishermen in the ocean. It was maybe one of the most simple mysteries so far, because the solution was literally nothing. There was no boss battle. We just saw these otherworldly creatures living forever. Or at least, we hope it was forever. Heart of Darkness. Lighthouse gets one additional floor. Okay, the lighthouse is just the final dungeon, I guess. And we're gonna have to explore one additional floor of that nightmare. With the last mystery completed, we had all the keys for the lighthouse. It was time to change the palette one last time and enter in our final gauntlet. This is the test of skills we prepared for up to now. The resource management we did, the stats we increased, the knowledge we obtained, everything was for this moment. This is the final gauntlet. And I want to put more emphasis on knowledge, because it was very relevant. In fact, in one of the rooms we entered into, there were various photos of the opponents we faced in our run. And we had to remember which one was the second opponent we ever faced. Of course, I could have just checked my recording, but it's a blind run, and I did not want to break the atmosphere, so I refused to check the recordings. I am pretty sure it was not the man-eating plant, because that was the first one. The Dream Devourer should be the enemy we fought in the last mission of the second investigation we did. It's either the Lumpy Officer or the Dream Salesman. Screw it. Yes! Ah! And as we kept climbing, there were several moments in which we had to reduce our stamina or reason to proceed. And this is another moment in which I thought, maybe if I had a certain item, I would have been able to actually not lose stamina, and maybe surpass these parts without problems. But my thoughts stopped when I finally had the occasion to clash with one of the cultists, Takashi-san. Takashi wasn't trying to kill us. Takashi was just interested into finishing the ritual. That's why his attacks are gonna deal doom damage. With each attack the doom is gonna be increased by a certain amount. But fortunately, perfect, flawless, we were prepared enough to kill him before the doom rises up too much. And in the end, we finally reached the top of the lighthouse. Huh? That was it? Really? Were we really able to stop them? For now, yes, but it seemed very easy to set up a ritual. And look at the consequences. Cultists will be back, and maybe one day there will be no more chance for us to stop them. And here it's how the first approach I had to the game went, but we are not even at a quarter of the stuff I want to show you. After doing a couple of other runs which I want to show you, I was wondering, doesn't this game risk of becoming repetitive after a short while? I wasn't getting many different items, options and mysteries. And the answer is no! I was getting the same for one simple reason, and that involves the extra menu. In the extra menu, you're able to see your achievements, and with each achievement of the game, you unlock something new in the game. I am usually not the achievement guy, usually I don't care about them at all, but I was really enjoying this game, and I really want to see new stuff, I want to see new experiences, I want to try new stuff, and so I started my runs in Endless mode, which, as the name tells, is infinite. We're able to continue as long as we can before the old god awakens. Also, I was happy to see that some achievements involved reaching certain milestones in the Endless mode itself, and so I was able to get more items, more mysteries, more characters. And with them, I was able to do more runs. And with more runs, I was able to get more achievements. I was having fun. This is the moment in which my curiosity reached the maximum height possible. Multiple times before trying the game, people told me it was basically a love letter to an author called Junji Ito, one of the most important authors of horror manga, but there was a little problem with that. Apparently, the game was full of references to his works, but since I've never read him, I wasn't able to catch them. I wasn't able to catch any references. That's why, in this moment, I turned off the game and decided that I wanted to understand what was I even playing. Cause playing a game is never only clicking buttons in front of a screen. For a game to be worthy, it has to leave you something. Something that makes it unique. And that's why I wanted to know more. So, under suggestions, I started reading Uzumaki. Useless to say, after a few hours, I already finished the whole thing and was already starving for more. The style, combined with how messed up the situations were, really captured me up to the point that I needed to understand the references. In Uzumaki, for example, the whole adventure is set in a town really similar to the one of World of Horror. As you can see, there is also the Lighthouse. Then we have some moai statues, which apparently are a reference to another short story which is called The Supernatural Transfer Student. Then there is a guy with some holes in the body, which is a reference to a short story called Shivers. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In the schoolyard, you're able to find the people which are reading a book that talks about spirals. Spirals are one of the primary themes of Uzumaki. Also, there is this little funny guy in an event, which apparently is an artist, which is Junji Ito. It's literally Junji Ito. What could I even say? Do you see how much love there is into this? The developer literally put Junji Ito in his game. And it's not only Junji Ito references. For example, the dog in the shop is a reference to the Suzuki tobacco shop in Tokyo. Then the phone, that stupid phone when you watch the TV, you can actually use it. If you write 56709, you will get an achievement, because that's a reference to a lyric in the song Telephone from Junko Ohashi. The list goes on a lot. If you're interested, you can also find a compendium made by the community on Steam. By this point, the game already left me something by revealing to me what was I missing not reading Junji Ito works. But what was I not expecting is that the scariest thing present in World of Horror was still a mystery to me. I was playing in Endless mode, trying to get more achievements, when suddenly something happened. Something truly evil has you in its grasp? Huh. Okay. Apparently we caught the attention of something truly evil. Honestly, I was not paying much attention, so I didn't mind it and kept proceeding with my run. But there were some things strange. Some images had some slight changes to them. Something truly evil is getting closer? There was always that face. The face of something truly evil following me. And eventually, we were face to face. Your demise is here. The amount of HP of this creature was unbearable. There was no way for us to win. We could just beg and hope that they decide to stop attacking. Hey! This was the anatomy book, now it's... found you? Huh? As you may imagine, I failed the battle. After this shocking encounter, I was very curious, and I started to investigate. Apparently, something truly evil is a reference to a short story called Fashion Model. After reading the story myself, I can agree. In Fashion Model, like in the game, after you catch a glimpse of a mysterious being, you're gonna keep seeing it again and again until it actually materializes in front of you and will reveal to you it wasn't just a nightmare. Something truly evil is the enemy of World of Horror. By this point, I was pretty satisfied with my experience and was thinking of ending here for now, until I discovered challenge runs. Basically, challenge runs are gonna lock us into certain characters with certain starting limitations, with once again the goal of reaching the top of the lighthouse. Oh ho, we can choose certain challenges! We only have 3 available for now. The first one, going cold turkey, rotated around a character called Haru. The main point is that Haru needs cigarettes to become stronger, but the special rule is that we cannot use cigarettes because they will be automatically discarded when we get them. And also, we got another old god called Tak Atorasu. Big spider thing. By this point I can tell you something. In this game, the real problem that you will have to face through runs is battles. Battles are the only thing that is not designed to be able to kill you. All they have to do is just to reduce the resources you have, both in life and in items. If the enemies are able to get even a single turn, then they already did their job. Our job, on the other hand, is to do everything possible to avoid as many battles as possible, cause less battles, less occasions to lose stuff, less chances to lose. Also, for the challenge runs, we were locked into a higher difficulty, in which, as you can see, we have less stamina and less starting reason. And as you can already imagine... yeah, we failed a couple of times without even reaching the lighthouse. You know, maybe I wasn't supposed to start doing the challenges right now. Maybe I should have spent more time in trying to see more in-game events and understand better how to manage resources. And that's why we ignore what I just said and we continue with the challenges! This time, we are gonna be very serious. So serious that not even Yakuza is gonna stop us. We stole a weapon from Yakuza! Not realizing I had no ammos for the Yakuza gun. But my missions continued. In the process, we were also able to fight a school. This has been the best attempt so far, and the only one in this challenge in which we reached the lighthouse, at 89% doom. Basically, 11% more and we lose. Alright. Maybe we're gonna be able to finish this round, actually. 89% doom is not too bad, I think. Let's go! And you know what? I will let you see with your eyes. As long as we don't find too many enemies, this is gonna be doable. Yes! Not enough charisma. Uh-oh. Oh, you again. +2 doom. We're at 94 doom. If we don't finish this quick, we lose. I have to not miss. Okay. Oof, 96% doom. 98%. You're stopped by darkness. Light your way. But wait, now when I climb I get the doom and I lose. 99! Oh! 99%! 99% doom! We were able to win the first challenge at 99% doom. This really gave me one of the biggest reliefs ever. It really made me feel the chills up to the last moment. That's when I realized how great the doom was executed into this game. Before taking any decisions, you always have to think, will this leave me enough time? Should I spend more time for this action? Doom creates the perfect attention to long-term planning, which gives you constant fear of not being able to reach the end fast enough. Even if you're on the last mystery you have to resolve, keep a margin of doom, because the game doesn't want you to feel safe, and everything can go south in some seconds. But let's go to the second challenge. It is such a relief being able to being on this title screen once again. Like, while you are playing you feel very tense, and I'm playing very late in the day, so, like, this is such a relief. Ghastly presence, with the character Kyrie. Remember how I said the game is always able to appear as new despite you doing always the same thing? This challenge will make you feel that even more. We don't have access to offensive attacks in battle. The only thing we can use to damage opponents are spells. In case you don't know, spells don't spend an action and use resources like stamina or reason or doom in order to deal damage. Or also to heal, and sometimes even to reduce the doom itself. But hey, remember when I said they don't consume an action in combat? This translates to we don't care about any stat but reason. Combat was literally a joke. As long as we pay attention to not enter into battles unprepared, we are able to sweep everything. The part of the game which in other runs was able to annihilate me, here became an experience which appeared to be another game completely. Oh no, they want to blood sacrifice me to their master? Oh. Flawlessly, on our first attempt, we reached the Lighthouse, easily killed some enemies, and took our victory. Hell yeah! Okay, another challenge run completed. This one was very, very easy, honestly. This second challenge run really made me feel confident. So it was time for the third. Little did I know, I was gonna enter a nightmare. Third challenge is called Ghost Town, and we play as Mizuki. The problem of this challenge is that the special rule says all additional actions but rest are disabled. That's scary. The whole reason I survived so far was because of the multiple different possibilities offered. Here, the only thing we can do will be to rest to regain some stats at the cost of doom. And if you thought that was all, it isn't! Because Mizuki should start with a party member, and her playstyle should be around getting more party members and letting them attack in combat. The more party members you have, the more damage you deal. But we also have the 7th curse, which means we cannot have any party members in this run. Basically, we are playing a weak character without the one thing that makes this character strong. And without additional actions. From here, you may already know that I died over and over and over again. In total, I made like 5 hours of attempts, of which I recorded 3 hours, because 2 hours were literally discarded for being repetitive. But I was starting to feel a difference. I had a better idea on how to face this challenge. Now I know I need to start a run in which of the mysteries available, maximum 1 or 2 had a boss fight. The plan is very simple, skip as many boss fights as possible. For the rest is gonna be help of RNG. Across all my attempts I have never reached the Lighthouse. But finally, in critical conditions, very high doom and useless items, we were gonna approach our first attempt at the Lighthouse. I know it's risky because the doom is going up, but I need to rest. If we get the events in which we need to consume stamina or reason, we are gonna die. Fortunately, we got 2 rooms in which they asked the questions about enemies or mysteries done in this run. The doom was almost at the maximum, but at the last, we were there. The nightmare was over. This is what would happen if a crybaby tried to stop a plan from a cult. You would need a literal miracle to win. I have no audio from me in that moment because it was around 4 AM, but I can guarantee you, I was exploding. I also did some more challenges, such as Mimi's little project, but I think I can stop here. I don't want to tell you anything else about the game. I will leave that part to you, in case you enjoyed it. For sure I know I did. And I will be forever thankful to this game for letting me know Junji Ito. I really have to stop playing games after 1 AM and just sleep. But anyways, let me know what you think about this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which games should I cover next. But for now, I was Frapollo94, and I will see you next time.